Hello and welcome to the Gauntlet. This is part of the Gauntlet community, which is an online worldwide group of gamers, friends, aficionados, and fanatics for small press or indie RPGs, tabletop role-playing games, or also OSR, which is the old school revival or resurrection or whatever you want that R to stand for. I'm sure you could work it into the acronyms. We are currently playing part of Gauntlet Comics, which is a living campaign, a shared living campaign between me and a current two other game masters. We're running a variety of different RPG systems. They're all in a shared setting called New Gauntlet City. And the idea is that Gauntlet Comics, which is what we have the banner that this all flies underneath, is an imprint of a comic book, but it's all made up because we're writing the issues as we tell these stories and roll dice and do crazy stuff. This is the fourth of 4 sessions of 1% Supers, which is a game that I have been working on. It's a hack of 1%er from Creepy Doll Studios, aka Robert Nolan. It's an excellent game. 1% Supers is for biker gangs. And I said, hey, super teams, biker gangs, why not? And these guys have done a great job of sounding out the system. I still consider this one of our near to final playtests before I hopefully publish this. But a few more things that I want to add, especially after seeing the game in a little bit deeper play in 4 sessions. So I appreciate you guys. One of the things that I have neglected to do in previous sessions that I want to make sure is out there is to advise you guys that we do have safety tools at your disposal. The Gauntlet is very big on safety tools. I occasionally neglect to mention it, and that is bad on me, so I'm working on it. Please accept my apology. The safety tool I prefer to use is a bit unrefined. There are folks who like safety tools that are a little bit more nuanced, but I use the X card. The X card is a tool by which, if there is anything that you find bothersome that affects your ability to engage with the play, that really kills your fun and kind of gets you to the point where you want to disengage from being part of the story that we're telling, all you have to do once you get that notion is you can hold your hands up as an X, or you can put X in the text box of the Hangout here, or on our Roll for Your Party, one of my favorite tools that the Gauntlet has. There is a very cool little button for X card. If you hit the caret to make sure the safety tools are displayed, they're a little black background with red font, and you can click on the X card, and it actually pops up with a text box where you can put what it is that you are X-carding. And that's great because it'll save me some time. Because guess what? When you X-card, I want to know what's being X-carded, not to challenge it, not to say, hey, this is justify yourself in the thing that bothers you. That's not a conversation I'll ever have with someone, because I don't have your lived experience, and I'm trying to run a game where we all have a good time. And there's something that I stumble into, like some big dumb oaf, and it bothers you, I want to know, just so we can excise it from our play, and it will not be a roadblock to any of our fun. And fun is nebulous, right? That's this one term that people say fun, and one person's fun is not another person's fun. So, I don't know what else to call it other than, if it's a thing that causes you to not want to be here and be part of this game, I urge you to use the X card. But we also have the open door policy. So if it's a thing where it bothers you and you really need to disconnect, then do that. Your safety is way more important. If you can drop me a note so I can know if you're able to come back, or if you decide to just call it a night, that's cool. But if you disappear, we'll wait for a moment or two, and then we'll probably continue on, because I assume the best intentions from you guys, and I hope you give me the same. So that's the safety tools that are out there. The most important safety tool is for us to check in with each other and treat each other, like friends, because we're friends playing at a table, a virtual table here. So there's my thing. And then the last piece is apologizing that I have a pup who's like 7 months old and a son who's like 13 years old, and both of them are really loud, really loud. Yeah, neither of them respond to gags because one will chew it off, and the other will just keep playing video games and screaming around it. So what can I do, my friends? You get your money back. No, wait. Anyway, we have been playing 1% Supers, currently set in Scoville Terrace, which is a neighborhood in New Gauntlet City that we've all created here. And I do have to say, Scoville Terrace is kind of a happening place. It's so happening that when we pick up in our session, it turns out that it is October 21st. It is Reptile Awareness Day. We hadn't talked about the dates before, so obviously it was sometime before October 21st, but now it's October 21st because Reptile Awareness Day is the big holiday for Scoville Terrace because of the Scoville snake, which is the largest snake in the city. So what I would like for each of you to do is I'm going to call upon each of you in turn, and you're going to tell me a little bit about your character and also share with me your personal experience with the Scoville snake that is either memorable or noteworthy. Or if you've never seen the Scoville snake, why that is. All right? Scoville snake time, my friends. All right, Sherry, lead us off. How are you? And please tell us a bit about your character.
Oh, let's see. I'm doing great so far tonight, Rich. And my character's name is Static. She goes by she, her. Her particular ability is that she can change her selfdom into electrical current and move through wires and then pop back out at will. And she has a little bit of machine interface. She can get machines to do things just because she does have that sort of tie-in with electricity. In theory, she could probably shock people. She doesn't do it a lot, but every once in a while she'll throw a punch and regret it later. Let's see here. She works as a waitress at a restaurant called Cypress. It is currently being what's the word for it? Extorted? No, it's like there's people asking for protection money, and those people are the Future League and their boss, Alistair, who is a dastardly man. So we have to right that wrong. And let's see, my tie to reptiles and Scoville, the Scoville snake. In high school, I got a reputation where I would take bets with other people, and essentially if I won, they had to get a tattoo of a snake, of the Scoville snake. Yes. And so there are no fewer than 10 people who have those tattoos because of me.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing.
Exactly.
Scoville snake tats.
Yes. And eventually, because there were a couple of them who were so angry at me, I actually got myself a mercy tattoo of the Scoville snake as well.
Okay. Okay. Wow, that's great. I'm already very grateful that I have asked this question. Thank you, Sherry, so much. Chris, how are you, my friend? And please tell us a bit about your character.
I am doing just fine. I'll be playing Wildcard, the Slacker Sorcerer, the true Wildcard on the team. He does lots of weird stuff, never does it the same way twice, even if he's doing exactly the same thing. And his encounter with the Scoville snake was the kind of encounter you might expect from Wildcard if you'd known him for more than 10 minutes, which is he and the snake had a long philosophical conversation over a bong filled with essential oil and the water from a small, nearly empty pool in the Amazon that creates a mystic link with the great spirit of the giant anaconda, which he thinks that was what the Scoville snake was. The snake disagreed, and it was a long, drawn-out thing. And he's pretty sure he won the argument, but he's never been able to really prove it because he's never been able to make contact with the snake again.
Nice. So you're saying he kind of has the, was it Parsifal tongue from Harry Potter, kind of a little bit like that, if he has the right essential oils.
If he took a really solid hit off of that same mixture again, if he could figure out what the heck he did, because he was already kind of drunk when he started. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I like it a lot. Thank you so much. Luis. Hello, my friend. How are you? And tell us a bit about your character.
I'm super good, especially after having a really good laugh at the whole Royal Avengers Day thing. It's the best thing ever. And it's also my mom's birthday, fun fact.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday to Luis's mom. Awesome.
Yeah, in this reality, I hope she doesn't live in the city. So I'm playing Lynx, and she used to be a graphic designer for this one organization that doesn't like superheroes wearing masks. But then she got fired, and now she might be working for this shady publicity agency for another corporate superhero team. We'll see how that shakes out. And her experience with the snake was that when she was a kid, her parents, who were like major activists in the neighborhood, after they immigrated, they went to a rally to call for the transportation of the snakes back to the natural habitat. They're an invasive species, and they're killing the native, I don't know, one-off ring-tailed monkey from Scoville, whatever it's called. And she didn't really get the point, but it's a memory that keeps coming back to her more and more as she has lost her parents, and she's trying to be a hero to make up for, to kind of represent them as a force of good in society.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Tim, last but not least, how are you, my friend? And please tell us a bit about your character.
Okay, I'm character is Riot Act. He is basically kind of a street level kind of guardian type night thrasher. Got a suit of armor with built-in gadgets and weaponry. He runs a junk shop, which is currently in the sights of the Alistair, who wants to either buy it out or otherwise offer Jake a job. I think we'd kind of talked about kind of setting him up or whatever with cameras or whatnot the next time he wanted to. I don't know what will come with that or not, but Scoville Snake, I don't know if there's much about that he was into. Maybe when he was younger, they went to sea and he tried to feed some bread, but it didn't want any because it wasn't buns.
So Scoville Snake is into buns. It's a little note that I'll add here.
Can't resist a good pun.
All right. So I got 3 of these 0.5. Yeah, so I can't handle fine tip pins, but I keep buying them by accident. So I have to go through and actually read to see what the point is. All right. What's the point? We begin this issue after we have this big, huge page, Scoville Snake, and Scoville Terrace. We have the Reptile Awareness Day, and it's early in the morning, and there's a small, I don't know if you guys know who Shriners are. At least I'm not sure if you're aware of the Shriners. So Shriners are this organization here in America. They wear these little red fezzes, and they raise money usually to help children. They also have this kind of odd organization, and where I'm from, they ride around in funny little cars in when local parades are happening, like little go-kart type dealies and everything. They're very, they do lots of charity work. They're hospitals, Shriner hospitals and stuff like that. So that is the general look of the Tubby 50 to 60-year-old men who are moving around and putting up snake flyers and snake designs on all of the windows and the front shops. And we see the textile with the not quite flea market, but the shops that are in the old textile mill. Sorry, it's like a wall of text in the thing. I don't know what that means. Yes, thank you for that picture. So the textile mill is all done up, and people are wearing these like caps. Hold on, I'll show you a little bit what it looks like. Like this, right? They're wearing like these kind of things, except it's just two fangs. It's not a whole lot of, yeah, but they're wearing snake hats, and it's just Scoville Terrace is eaten up with it. It's so much so that it takes a few panels of showing all this before we see this newspaper stand. And on the newspaper stand is the new Gauntlet City Herald. And on the front page of this stack, it's all got twine tying it together in the newspaper stand. It says, Future Legion accused, or Future Legion stand accused is what it says. And there's a PR kind of photo op of the Future Legion that you guys have seen a number of times. And so that's the first couple pages to set up for Scoville Terrace and the big Snake Day and Reptile Awareness. The next turn the page and we see what links, Alice, tell us a little bit about your apartment. It's like it's a real tiny place, like a 1-bedroom place. I can't quite recall.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. So what happens is Link shares an apartment with 2 college girls, 2 seniors, and she's basically being leveraging their pity for her parents' demise to not pay rent for the past year.
Do you have your own bedroom, or do you have to sleep on the couch? Like, I want to know exactly how well you've been pulling this off.
Yeah, she has a bedroom.
Oh my goodness!
It's a nice apartment. These kids are rich. And they're like barely at home. And then whenever they are at home, she pretends to be still very shaken by it. She is inside, but she overplays it so she can have a place to live that's nice and doesn't require any effort on her part. She's a straight up cat person in the most literal sense of the way.
Okay. Unless you had names you like better, I believe that their names are Penelope and Addison.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow, that's funny. Oh, sorry, there's talking Chad of the possibility of other setups. That's pretty great. So we see you're currently still suspended from your job for No Masks Allowed as their graphic designer. Nothing's been finalized with Spectrum. You're supposed to get a call later today from their human resources consultant, and that hasn't come in yet. It's early in the morning. How do you normally spend your mornings, Lynx?
Well, usually I would be at I forgot her name. Whatever the rich bitch was called.
Oh, Penny.
Yeah, I've moved on already. I'm so fast like that. At Penny's house. And now I'm living the unemployed life. I'm watching daytime TV. I'm watching Ellen.
You're watching Ellen. Okay, great. So
having a B-type superhero who got famous online for doing a funny dance while taking down a villain.
Oh, super memes. Yes, of course. Great. So you're watching Ellen interview the super memer, and so we see it's like a couple of panels back and forth. You watching? Are you munching on any kind of thing? Drinking anything? Like, or just vegetative state watching television?
I'll say frozen waffles with off-brand syrup.
Nice. So you're munching on some frozen waffles. Still frozen?
No, they have a toaster.
Okay,
I
good.
did
All
the
right.
effort.
I mean, they probably have really expensive, like one of those 8 toaster things that they've only ever used 2 slots out of. So the first time that we see you, you're munching away on some of the waffle, and see that you're watching Helen, and then we come back, and there's a window behind you, and we see 4 cats on the windowsill. And this is an apartment. I imagine it's like several stories up. And then you're putting some syrup on there. And then when we come back, if you see a moment there, the guy's reenacting his dance. And all of Helen's people are all excited. There's a lot of cheering. We come back and we see you. And there are maybe a dozen these cattails that are up on the back of the couch, and you're realizing that you have the view of 100 eyes upon Helen right now, because you can see through all of their eyes. What do you do, Links?
Oh my God. Yeah, I think it's a big impression by like watching TV with whole mess of cat ears and cat eyes to amplify your vision. I think when the audience laughs, it's just overwhelming, and then she realizes what's happening and she looks behind the couch. She just go, oh no, I knew this would happen. Oh, they're coming for me. They're gonna eat me alive. Everybody told me this was gonna happen. I just try to read these cats, honestly. I'm trying to figure out, like, without getting overwhelmed by the hive mind, what they're doing here, how they got in.
So as you're trying to figure out how all of these cats got in, you hear Penelope sneeze, and then the bedroom door opens up. Her bedroom door opens up very dramatically. Her hair is all askew. She has some in rollers, but a lot that's just out, like sprigs. I don't know if you've ever seen how a guinea pig's hair can look a little weird. That's a little bit what her hair looks like right now. Without her makeup on, she's not a terribly attractive young woman. But once she puts the makeup on, she's not a terribly attractive young woman with a lot of makeup on. She's wearing the silk robe, and she comes out. Oh my God, is there a cat? Oh! And then her eyes are a little swollen up, and she points at all. Do you see all the cats? Oh my God.
Wait, okay. Take a deep breath. Actually, don't take a deep breath. Just go into your room. It'll be fine. Get them out here. I don't know how they got in. I think somebody left fish in the fire escape.
I just did that the one time.
You're never supposed to leave fish out in the open, but yeah, it will be okay. And she starts like literally herding cats towards the door.
I think that I would like to see. We're not going to put any tension on the roll, but I think it would be kind of a typical difficulty to herd cats. I mean, really, let's be honest here. You're the one who chose cats. You know there needs to be a die roll.
Oh, of course it is. And I think she's so overwhelmed that she doesn't even know that she can use her power to do this at this point. And so that's gonna be normal.
Okay.
As normal as herding 20.
Yeah, I think that's normal. You're not using your power, so.
Yeah. Am I using like hands or feet?
Oh, I think.
I'm just like nudging them with my feet.
Yeah, I'll go with movement. Yeah, you gotta have good reaction time.
Mm-hmm.
That works within the speed functions of feet. So let's do it. Kitties work with heart.
These are not kitties. These are hard-lived street cats.
That's right.
Okay.
I like that one cat from. Oh shoot, I can't remember the. Dang it! I can't remember. There's a recent pet movie that. It doesn't matter. It totally doesn't matter. But there's.
I got 2 pals and 2 oofs, but tension is not in it.
Correct. So with 2 pals, you do successfully herd the cats out. And the thing is, you open up the door. You're like herding them. You open up the door to shove them out. There are 100 cats all in the hallway, and they're meowing. in all different cadences and tones and everything. What do? You get these dozen or so out. There are a bunch in the windows. Like every window you look out, there are cats around the windowsills. And Penelope is verklempt. She's beside herself.
I think there's this splash page of the apartment living room where there's just cats out in every surface and out the door. And like
it's like Trouble with Cats, basically. Yeah.
And Elise in the middle and Penelope horrified at the back. And I think we just get like a 3-panel zoom on her face where she just looks around and she's despaired and then she's mad. And then she points outside and says, "I want all these cats out of my house." And then that's when she like uses her new power to focus their attention on whatever's going on in the street. Like, I don't know, there's like, she points and then there's a panel following her finger. It's just like a very small bird looking up from a tree branch in the street. And she's gonna like use that as a focus point for the cats.
Oh man, so that bird is toast. And there's just a couple feathers that kind of float up, and we go off screen. Like the next panel doesn't show what's going on. It's just a bunch of onomatopoeias of cats taking care of that thing, and other cats discussing the day. I don't know. Cats doing cat stuff. That's amazing. And we will use that as our transition to come over to riot acts. So what was I can't remember. Would you call it Jake's, the junk shop? Or actually he had a real kind of generic name for it, right?
I don't think I had a name for it, actually.
Don't even have a sign up. Everybody knows that's where you go.
Well, I'm just speaking out of character. I just never
did
think of a name.
Do you
probably
it has a name?
Probably at some point, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it might just be something like, high street appliance repair, something like that. Something not real flashy or,
I like high street appliance repair. So we see the sign of high street appliance repair, and then Garrison's head bumps into it and it swings for a little bit. He didn't quite duck as he comes into the panel, and then he opens up the door. When do you open the shop normally? Because it's like 7:30 a.m. Think you just muted yourself when you meant to unmute yourself, Tim.
Sorry.
I've done that. It sucks.
I don't know. It's probably not like a real strictly followed time frame. Usually probably anywhere from 7 to 8, I would say.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So you've probably been maybe open, or you've just haven't quite flipped the open sign, but you're up and around. Alistair comes in after Garrison holds the door open for him, but there's a moment where Alistair stops and then he kicks a cat out of the way, and then he comes inside
to prove he's evil.
I that was me. He kicked the cat out of the way. Yeah, totally did. Alistair knows.
Yeah.
So he comes in. He doesn't even look around like he did before. He just uses his little cane and he ambles his way over. Well, good morning.
Morning.
And he has this little manila folder underneath his arm, and he drops that onto a desk and flips it open. So, Jake, we're gonna go ahead and have you sign this non-disclosure agreement for the work that you're going to be doing for the future Legion, repairing all of their technology and technical support that you'll be offering not only the future Legion, but the Alistairs, because occasionally we have those appliances that are secondhand that I figure you can do with that, like you do with your other crappy appliances that we can sell, wholesale. So if you'll just go ahead and sign these, then you can keep your building for now.
Yeah, out of character, you kind of caught me here. I wasn't even prepared on how I was going to respond to this. But I'm sorry.
Do you want me to like jump to somebody else? Like that's me just doing a real hard move right in your face. And
Yeah,
you want me to jump
maybe I
away?
can just kind of cut. We start looking at the papers, and you kind of cut. I'm kind of drawing a blank here.
Okay, cool. So we see that. So there's like a shocked look on Jake's face, and then we cut to the next panel that we see is Static. You're at Cypress. They're not open yet. Why are you here?
Well, see, I came in to do some stuff, but then I got a ping and Instagram popped up, and the first one of my high school friends who has a tattoo posted her tattoo and said it's the 5th anniversary. And so so essentially I'm trying to take a selfie so that I could show my tattoo, but like not too much. And essentially,
where is this tattoo located? Like, what part of Static are we seeing a glimpse of here?
Well,
is this like an arm thing or like?
No. I mean, it's the Scoville snake is tattooed over her heart, so it's kind of a hard one to take so that it like looks good and it's clear where it is without it being too clear where it is. So it's just that kind of thing. So she kind of got her shirt pulled up and she's trying to take a selfie. So, and that's what you kind of come in on is her doing that. And then,
Wait, is she? I'm sorry, I missed it. Is she in like the ladies' room? Is she in the office? Where's she?
I think like when she gets in at that time, no one else is there yet.
Okay.
So she's gotten there early, and so she's kind of like she's in the back room. She isn't in the bathroom because geez. But and so she's trying to like get the camera right. Get it like hold it right, take it the other way, and get that picture with decent lighting, like there's some light coming in from the other side, but no one can see. So that's pretty much what you see. Is she's holding her shirt up and try to take a picture of the Scoville snake.
Nice. I love it. We push the envelope here, but we're able to stay within Comics Code Authority. Exactly. Just a little bit of flesh, but it's all good.
It's all good.
And you get the snap and you're getting ready to send that off with whatever, like Minstagram or Pinstagram or something or other. And that's when you hear a door open, like the back door opens up.
Oh. Pull my shirt down.
And you see that it is the elder member. I can't remember if we had a family name. I was trying to look through my notes if we actually named the last name of the family.
I don't
remember it either. Lots of Cyprus, lots of Lebanese family members. Those are the only notes that I wrote down. So we are going to go to our trusty Story Games names book, although I don't recall them having Lebanese names.
Corey would be the most common one, like being named Miller.
Really? Corey? All right,
yeah.
Sweet. So it's Elder Corey of the family, and he's come in. He hasn't seen you. He actually comes in a little quickly. It's October. New Gauntlet City's kind of in the Midwest of the United States, so it's a little chilly outside. He's got his little jacket on. He's got a I'm imagining Izod jackets, except he's got a little snake pin there, and then he opens the door back up again, and in walks Copper Topper, member of the Future Legion. What do you do?
Oh, wait. I've just got my phone all set up so it's recording. I'm going to hit record and I'm going to disappear into the thing so that I can record what's going on here.
All right, let's see if you can do that without being seen. I would like to see a remarkable feat of these two men coming in and you hiding.
Okay, so this is super. And let's see here. This is it heart? I don't know. When I change myself, is that heart?
I think you're changing yourself. It seems like you're trying to move, right? So I think
Okay,
feet feels right.
Okay, I can do that. All right, so that's 6 dice right off the top.
Yeah.
I do.
Don't forget you've got spark that you can spend, and then if you're using a power here, then there's that too.
Oh, my team roll, which is distraction and containment.
Oh my! You're remembering your role on the team.
Yeah.
Plus. I was actually trying to find if there was any like recon or sabotage for links, but none of the things that you're doing felt like they would apply. But yay, good job.
Okay, so 7 dice. Let's see here.
7 dice, looking for evens. Tension is in effect.
And these are D10s or D6s?
They are D6s. You are looking for evens, although, I mean, technically, it could be D10s. We just roll D6s.
Oh, that doesn't look too bad.
Right.
I got three, and then I got 1. Ooh,
you have 4, actually.
4. Do I?
3 4s and a 2. You're looking for
evens.
evens.
That 2. I look at that 2, and it doesn't seem like much of anything.
But you know what? It's exactly what you need.
Okay,
so that is a success, but then the stress of it affects you, so you lose a spark.
Oh no! Okay.
Oh no! So you zip into the phone, which I just love that image. I saw the Luis was recognizing that. I also want to cop to saying that would be a really cool visual. I'd love to see in a comic panel of you popping into the phone, and you witness a conversation between Corey and Copper Toppers. Copper Topper is he's got his like. The good thing about having copper skin, like not copper colored, but literally copper skin, is evidently he doesn't get cold because he's still wearing his like bike shorts. This part of his uniform. Underneath, he's got his green uniform, but he's got a jacket over top of it. But you feel like it's more like he's trying to not draw attention to himself. And he says, "You got it?" And Corey says, I'm think we're going to be a little short." And he heads over towards the office, and he goes and he pulls out an envelope that's got some stuff in it. And Copper Topper says, "It's disappointing. We talked about what it would take to make sure that guys were safe. As you know, the police department's not doing their job. You need somebody that will really fight for you. You sure that you're not able to meet the agreed upon fee for our services?" Corey says, "It's been a bad week. It's Reptile Awareness Day, though. We should be getting a lot of business today. A lot of people come in. We're serving the snake soup. I'm sure if you give us to the end of the day, maybe." Copper Topper kind of crosses his arms. "I've got a lot to do today. Giving you a whole day? Come on, Corey. You've had a whole week." Corey says, "What do you... Surely you can give me to the end of the day." Kind of looks up from his glasses, and Copper Topper says, Your eldest, she's in college now, right?" And Corey stands up a little straighter and says, "Yes." "Why?" "Tell you what, I'll give you to the end of the day. Just make sure that she delivers the money to me, okay? I mean, don't worry. Nothing will happen. Just nicer to have a prettier delivery person, you know?" He pats his Corey on the shoulder there, and Corey says, "You should go now." "This is fine. That's fine. No problem. I love this restaurant. I really hope that it stays open." And he heads to the door, heads outside. What do you do?
I don't even leave my phone. I just start uploading it.
To what?
What is it called again? Let's see, the one with the memes and the.
Oh crap!
Like,
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's Sia.
Sia.com. Good call.
Sia.com.
Nice.
So, yeah.
So, you.
And I set it to go so that it's like a delayed thing. Like it doesn't go right away. And essentially the message is left my phone in the boss's office, came back to this. And that's just the post that goes up.
Nice.
Now, but not right away. I have to make sure that there's some other things so that we can tie this jerkwad to Alistair. Because just Copper Top doing it. So.
Okay. Of course, because he would just be some lone problem, like not acting within the purview of future leads. He would be disowned immediately.
Exactly.
No pin at all on him. That's right, you guys have a dog. So we flip the page to Wildcard's face being licked by a dog. Very mangy looking dog that is nevertheless very sweet and thankful that, hasn't been euthanized for having whatever it had. I don't think the dog had a name.
The last thing I remember was basically Wildcard was trying to talk to the dog, and by both of them chewing on the same dog biscuit.
There we go. I think that sounds amazing.
And I think basically what maybe the panel opens up with Wildcard's just basically slumped off the side of the couch, like asleep, and like he fell asleep out there doing something. And the dog's basically, licking him back to wakefulness. And he eventually wakes up and looks over. Then I don't know how you can keep eating those damn dog biscuits. The salt alone. And he's like wiping his tongue off.
This is how low you've fallen. And we realized for a second, is that the dog talking? But no, the dog doesn't use a fake British accent.
Mortigern. I knew I should have changed those locks.
As if locks would hold me back from whence I wish to go.
Oh no, I was talking about actually leaving spoiled locks out. I figured the scent alone would drive you away.
If poor scent would drive me away, I would never visit this place. And he's looking around at you. This is what you've done with all that I taught you.
Oh no, I hardly ever use that stuff. This is all the other things.
Where is my property? And he is dressed there's a picture of him on the NPCs in places. He's got a top hat, a cape, a tux, and his magic wand that he carries around is literally black, cylindrical thing with white caps on either end. He occasionally wears white gloves, but right now he's taken off the gloves, and you know what that means.
Yes. He's probably going to put on his much fancier, wizardly fighting gloves.
It's possible.
Okay. Look, I figured you'd notice it eventually. And he starts going through his lower cabinets under the sink, and he roots around in there, and he finally pulls out this coffee cup. And it says, "World's Greatest Wizard Mentor" on it. I'm amazed it took you this long. Honestly, I'm kind of hurt. I thought you said you liked it.
I am laughing. He, however, is not amused.
And Wildcard's just looking like, well, sort of a bleary-eyed, but very earnest. Like he pulls out the coffee cup and says, "Okay, I only used it for a little bit of voodoo. Nothing really serious. There was supposed to be like some hair growing on your tongue, but obviously, you would have come sooner if that had happened."
James, your cantrips are pitiful, much like you. Where is the cat's eye? Don't make me hurt you.
Cat's eye? You mean that ridiculous little thing you made to talk to cats?
Yes, the very same. The ridiculous thing I made to talk to cats. Is it here? He walks over and he lifts up a Big Mac carton.
Oh, that's it. And you see a small burgerish homunculus tumble out of the cardboard and scamper off. I've been working on that for the last week. Damn it.
Such a waste.
Why would I take that? I'm not a cat person. Look, I have a dog. And he points to the terrifyingly mangy thing that's sitting over by his couch.
Dog. You're aware of his lycanthropy, you know.
Yeah, yes. Been working on that, trying to help the thing out, but so far I hadn't been able to get rid of that particular curse.
He sticks his hand up, and you hear a woof from the dog, and he says, "Let me take care of it. I will show you what needs to be done to such things." And the dog starts to whimper. What do you do?
Hey. Just a dog, man.
It is a carrier of a magical disease.
That's why we cured the disease. You make it sound like we've never cured werewolves before.
Wow.
You can't deny. I was there with you when we cured that pack of werewolves. You remember?
Yes, but those were sentient. This is merely a dog.
We talked. I used that dog biscuit trick. You always thought it was just a silly parlor trick, but it works.
It is a parlor trick. You are a fool. Now, tell me where the cat's eye is. Now.
Why the hell would I have your cat's eye?
Because the mutant who stole it admitted to me that he gave it to a member of your coterie. I don't want to deal with the likes of them. I thought, James, that you would at least tell me where the cat's eye is, so that I don't have to get saucy with your friends.
Look, there's no need to get saucy with anybody. Why would you even want the stupid thing? For God's sakes, if that's what that guy took from that dumpy place that he had robbed, the place where they beat the living crap out of him on the floor, I saw that video. If your magical artifact was stored in a stoet underneath an old crappy restaurant, what use could you possibly have for it? Come on. You're asking me how low I've sunk. If you're storing magical artifacts in a stoet,
I think you are trying to talk him out of him being extremely upset here.
I think that's where I'm kind of going. I don't know if I'd be jawing it or hearting it.
I think it's persuasion and reason and argument. So jaw feels the most appropriate here.
Okay, let's see what I can do.
It's going to take a remarkable success. And he's pretty upset. So I'm going to say tension is in effect. He's threatening your friends. He's indirectly threatening you. He's already threatened the dog.
Well, I'm the face man, so I can add my
Yes,
roll
you
as-
are. I love how you guys are using your roles.
So I've got that's 1. This will be normal, so that's 2. Jaw is 3, so that's a total of 5. So I've got 5. Tension is in effect though, and I've only got 3 spark. Ooh.
Ouch.
So I think I'm gonna have to rest with the 5 and hope really, really hard.
I think I can give you one. I'm not that bad.
I'm clearing. Oh,
Thank you.
cool. How is LSA helping out? Like, anything you say, I want to accept. I'm just curious how we see that.
If Chris thinks that's cool, I think
I'm cool.
it's like we know Wildcard is a grifter, but at least he has a sharp tongue. I don't think Wildcard can muster up the necessary motivation to actually read people to filth. But like, at least he knows how to bring a bitch down. So she probably taught him a thing or two about picking the right words to get under someone's skin.
Oh yes, and we know she does have a talent for that. So okay, would you contribute 1 spark, 2?
It's one. I'm kind of down as well.
1. Okay, all right, that'll bump
Hard
me.
times.
I understand. That'll bump me up to a 6 though. So, and I'm gonna keep it at 6 because I'm with tension in effect. Yeah, and it being remarkable, I'm already going to be skirting disaster here.
Here we go. 50-50 shot. You could really get messed up here.
Let's see.
Ooh, that hurts.
I can't see it. What? Okay, there it goes. It's loading up for me now. I can't see I can't see how bad it is yet. Oh,
I definitely wanted to let you see that.
oh. Well, I'm down. I've got 1 spark, but I get 3 successes, 3 pals, 2 oofs.
Yes, you do.
So I still have 1 spark left.
You do. You are not out of the game. That is definitely painful. So he says, James, care not to mock things that I value. The cat's eye is mine. You have until nightfall to tell me where it is. I will leave you be and not bother your coterie till then. Come midnight, if you have not produced my property to me, there will be a reckoning. Do you understand?
I understand.
Very well.
Then we're a team, not a coterie. What is it? What are we trying to do? Victorian cosplay?
He turns and starts to walk out. Give that dog a bath, James.
You just had a bath. They just brought them home from the shelter. They they bathe them before you take them home.
The dog goes, Murph. And then the door shuts. And Mortigern has left you for now. What do you do?
I think he leans back and looks over at the dog and says, "Do you think he noticed that little homunculus crawled onto his shoe?" And then he takes out his phone, and you can see him like flipping through his contacts list until he gets to the L's. And then he realizes, oh, wait, I wouldn't put her in here under that. And then flips it back down to Elite.
Stupid secret IDs.
And he then he hits the text button because who the hell calls people? That's just weird. And he starts texting. We can kind of fade out there if we want to go back and touch base with Riot Act.
All right, cool. So Riot Act, you've been told that you have to sign an NDA to work on the future Legion's their jetpacks and all of their tech.
Okay,
In
so
exchange for the lien on your shop/place you live.
I was thinking, since we were kind of discussing it the other night on when we were together about setting this guy up, that maybe we flash back a little bit. Is that okay to
Sure, sure.
kind of just do like a little montage where everybody's there? We're kind of hiding cameras, stringing, cable, microphones, maybe wild cards, even using magic to conceal them so that nothing stands out. The theme music to the K Team is playing in the soundtrack. But so that's all kind of set up in preparation. Even maybe one outside the door that's so you can see them coming, know whenever to hit record, and so that's all happened right before, or sometime before they walked in. So that was already set up and ready. Is that okay? But and I just kind of look at them and say, there's been some bad stuff in the papers about the future Legion. There's some quite some controversy going on. I might have maybe had a paper there, just kind of, I mean, and say, I'm not accusing you guys of anything, but this could come back on my name if anything further. Comes up on it. It's
Yes, I'm sure that you're so worried about your reputation in this little dunghole shop where you don't charge anyone for the work you do. But I understand, whatever, good name and all that. Listen, this newspaper is trash. It's fake news. Trash. They will print what I tell them to print. So, don't you worry about it. This is going away. I have the best legal team in all of New Gauntlet City. There is nothing for you to worry about. It'll all be gone in a week's time.
What if it isn't? Like I said, this isn't just my name. Sometimes, sometimes you just got to do what you feel is right. It's sometimes it's not even about reputation. I'm just really not feeling it.
I'm disappointed to hear that. And he shuts the folder closed and slides it under his arm. You have a good day. He turns and he starts to walk out. You notice that Garrison's not walking ahead of him and not going to open the door. And Alistair opens the door himself and heads out. And Garrison remains. Big Garrison, 7.5 feet tall, kind of huddled over, leaning against one of your washing machines. His arms folded. He's just a big wall of muscle. And then, as soon as Alistair is gone and out of sight, he says, well, where you want me to break you? Arm or a leg?
I'd say about Benning's Bridge.
And
I can't resist a pun.
We'll start walking towards you. What do you do?
So do I have one of those spoof type things that the other two set up on the Future Legion deal.
Oh, you
You know
want to
how
try to set the app off?
yeah, the app, kind of spoof it from somewhere else. How would I? I'm assuming there would be a roll, right?
Yeah, there will be a roll. So you're hoping to set off to distract him or make him go away because of some other emergency, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I
So
will
probably
say he's kind of sort of been told to do this thing, and he doesn't think it's going to take that long. So I'm going to set another remarkable difficulty against you. And tension is definitely in effect.
So I get to use my roll this time since tech support. And now super or normal, I'll do either way, whatever your call is.
I think flipping an alarm is normal.
Yeah, normal. But using tools because it's an app.
Yep.
So that would be 6.
I'm going to clear the dice.
Yeah. And I'll go ahead and spend a spark to put that at 7. Let's see. And nothing happened. Okay.
Oh, that's a good
Ooh,
roll.
6, yes. And
Wow.
no loose.
That is pretty amazing. So, what is the alarm that you call in that is kind of an all call for Future Legion? It's got to be something huge.
Just for the sake of it, since he's their employer, let's just say it's probably like one of the main offices or main stores of Alistair's is being robbed or otherwise, in danger. And that being his boss would make him more likely to want to skip out on this.
Awesome.
Since it's kind of a sometimes you just got to play their motives.
Sweet. So you're behind the counter or near the counter. He reaches across, grabs you up, throws you into a fridge. He totally fridges you, but not nearly as bad as the comic. I just wanted to say fridging. So he throws you into a fridge, knocks it over, and then you quickly hit the panic button that you've already set up to go, and he comes over, stalks over, and we see his shadow, and you're looking up at him, and he reaches back, and then there's that beep, 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 beep. He reaches down, and he's so big, right, that his phone is like that, and he's like, don't go anywhere, little man. And then he stalks off. And when you shut your door, it's like it slams, then it does that thing where it kind of walks a little bit open, and you think he broke the handle. It's totally a Zoolander phone. Yeah, it's totally a Zoolander phone. Like it's a regular phone for other people, it's a Zoolander phone to him. So there you go. You've saved yourself from being pummeled to death by Garrison. You guys, I think it would be cool if one of two things happen next. Either we have a team gathering together type of scene, or you guys, the team gathering together can also have some team building, which can allow you guys to refresh some of your spark, share a bit of what's going on for everybody. Or if you want to specifically go for some kind of charity work or vigilantism to regain your spark, I think that could be a cool other thing you're doing.
I think it might be a cool effect is like if any of us uses the spoof app, like it alerts the rest of us because that's kind of like our panic button. It's like whenever we like signal each other as like we need to get together, we're also spoofing Future Legion to show up for something ridiculous. I think that would be awesome.
I like it. That's a good call. Where do you guys meet up? You back at Cyprus? Is that where we pick up once everybody gets the panic button notification?
That sounds good. I will get the restaurant opened. I'll wait until he's like walked out a little ways, and then I'll come in like I'm coming in through the back door, and I'll get her, you know, I'll pop in and I'll go, I'm here. Don't worry about anything. I'll get it all set up. And she goes, you should have seen all the tips I got the other night. We're going to have a great day today. And she goes, and I set some of them aside for you because a bunch of people said they missed you. And so I'll go and plonk those like in the tip jar for him, point to it. And then I'll go get stuff set up. And when they show up, I'll go, come in, and just have them come in, give them water, get things all set. Tell him he can go. Mr. Corey can go if he wants.
All right. He will. He'll take you. I'm going to go for a walk.
I got it. Don't worry.
Thanks. Thanks a lot, Deirdre. Cool. So you guys come rolling in. Probably the smell of a special coffee that Deirdre is able to make for you. And guess all gathered together. Are you plainclothes, I assume? Not in super costumes or anything like that?
Right. She goes, we got to upload our videos. She goes, we have to put a who else is the thing, and I think we need someone to make it a campaign, and then we're going to blast that over on the monitors that are playing over above the Scoville Snake Parade.
So I slide.
Everyone will be there.
I love this. I love this idea.
Slide forward my flash drive or whatever that had the video of the morning encounter at the junk shop.
We'll upload it, watch it. We'll all wince when you get walloped. Ow. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Let me get you some aspirin. So.
And also to note, I did leave it on record. If anything happens while I'm gone, that's just more to use.
Ooh, clever.
Like when the cat kicking happens, at least it visibly like hisses despite herself. And I think we see at that panel that she has the stone in her pocket and it's out of the protecting cloth.
Got. Okay, and I think once we get settled in, I think Wildcard. Okay, that's awesome. We also have some other troubles, and he points over to Elise. The wizard who made that little stone of yours is looking for it, and came after me thinking I had it.
He can keep looking, honey. He's not going to get it. What did you sell him?
I played it off like I hadn't seen it, and I tried to give him back his coffee mug that I stole, but he didn't want it back, and that kind of hurt. That he didn't want that back, because I had gotten to him that coffee mug as a gift, and I thought it meant something to him, but he just ignored it, and he's obsessed with that. He's obsessed with that stone, and I pointed it out to him. I was like, if it was so important, you wouldn't have stuffed it in a stow-it.
Right?
Nope. Who puts things there?
Yeah.
That's where you put like crappy old collectibles that you used to think would be valuable someday, but you're still too scared to get rid of.
He was begging to be robbed. I have cat powers. Why would he need a stone that works with people with cat power? He's a wizard. He can make a wizard stone.
You don't think it's stolen from him and placed in there, do you?
It's possible. I mean, like I said, he barely used the thing. But, wizards are obsessive about their stuff. Like, they're not quite dragon level obsessed with their stuff. Like, but they don't like it when it gets stolen.
And she goes, Elise?
And he has dragged out that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh,
they both stop and like, Elise, you said that you think your parents had some of the powers that you found now, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure of anything at this point.
See, I don't think that gem had anything to do with spot, essentially communicating with cats or anything like that, I think Mordecai was an old perv. He was using that to spy on your parents. Probably your mom. I've seen the picture. She's beautiful.
Wait, so you mean to tell me that a wizard make a cat's eye stone to be a peeping Tom?
To the woman who lived in town who had the cat powers. Your mother had them beforehand.
Peeping Tom cat.
Yeah. Is it a pre-requirement to be a wizard that you have to be corny and techy?
we all look at Wild Card.
You're cool.
If you're gonna go the full wizard route, I mean, it tends to be a lot of repressed stuff. Yeah. This guy wears a 3-piece suit and a cape.
I say we call him on his bullshit.
I say we call him right now, and I slam the stone on the table because I'm not using the protection anymore. If this guy knows anything about my parents, I want him to find me. If you have a magical cell phone that you can call him on, you do it. Because we dealt with the Justice Legion at this point, the Future Legion. We keep changing the name. I'm sorry. I mean, I have time to learn about this thing now.
Well, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me if he was creeping on people because, like I said, wizards repress desires. It's a thing. But, this dude's bad news. I mean, he's kind of ridiculous in the way that all wizards are ridiculous. He dresses like he's some sort of Victorian gentleman. He speaks with a fake British accent. But he is not a joke when it comes to power. A joke when it comes to lots of other things, but when it comes to being a seriously dangerous wielder of magic, he's a seriously dangerous wielder of magic. So if he shows up, if we're going to confront him, we need to be ready for that.
Does he have pockets full of stuff like you?
Not really. He's more of the, behold this ancient magical device I had crafted over the course of centuries to do this one tiny little thing.
Still stuff we can steal.
Yeah, and I'll take a wild guess and say he's never been maced in the face. Ryonek is gonna beat his ass. It's gonna be so easy. If you tell me that this lily-livered wizard ever got beaten in his shins with a police baton, I will be so surprised. He doesn't know what's coming to him.
I can almost certainly say he's probably never been hit with a police baton.
Oh, by the way, speaking of magical devices, Rydak pulls out a Pretendo Power Gauntlet, hands it over to Wildcard. It's one of these that you wanted. I know you just talked about making something magic out of this. So.
It's still in the plastic.
No, I thought it was used, but up here I was thinking, hand it to you that way you could make some kind of magical doodad out of it or something.
It's already magical, he says as he puts it on.
You could control the game with that. Unfortunately, I don't think it's sized for adult hands. So it's a little bit of a tight squeeze.
He can his fingers can still reach the fingertips though. It only goes up to the gauntlet only goes up to about maybe 3/4 of the way down his hand. But he can still kind of work
power
it.
Gauntlet.
It's amazing. All right. So what we need now is a color scheme for the upload video. Remember? I think the theme of it should essentially has to say, who else? ? We got to get other people to step forward that they've had problems with them too. It's only with a group of people that we can keep this from turning back around on Riot and on Mr. Corey. Okay?
Maybe that Claudia Cross might know some people.
She certainly does.
And she seems pretty on the level.
Okay. So
Could we do like some sort of like really cool like Banksy theme? Wildcard says he's still trying to get his hand further into the gauntlet.
Who's Banksy?
The graffiti artist guy. Like we could maybe make the graphic design like something similar to like what he does with those prints.
Oh, like that Danger Mouse.
Yeah, I think you mean Danksy. You know,
Oh.
Mr. Danksy.
Oh yeah, that
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know who could do those? The tattoo guy. He is great at designs like that. All right, I'm going to go to the tattoo guy. I'll get a design. We'll figure out how we're going to spray paint that around. Because you got to spray paint it, right? All right. You make up the graphics designs, get these uploaded up to see you. And she sort of turns to Riot and says, can you get those to, just bounce over to the screens? Jake?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Can you get those videos to start playing up on the big screen?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I think all the parade goers need to see everything.
Wow. So we have videos that are going up to sia.com and then displayed in any place that you can are those same videos on screens here in Scoville Terrace during the big snake parade. Snake parade, of course, is a really long parade that winds its way through the streets of Scoville Terrace over the course of an hour. So I'm curious, Jamie, what are the treats that are often thrown from people on the parade floats out to the parade watchers? Having trouble with the mute button? I said Jamie, yeah. Maybe I should say Chris. Oops. Yep. So wild card.
I'm so used to triggering.
I know you got too many names. I'm sorry. Wild card. What are the treats that are thrown from the parade floats to the parade watchers as the long Scoville Snake Parade?
I think it is like these tiny little gummy-ish candies of various small animals, rodents, and things like that you would think like a snake would eat. And occasionally you might get really lucky and get one of the like snake eggs, which are like kind of like a Cadbury cream egg, only they have like the shell is made more of a texture like a reptile egg. Nobody's sure how they do it. It's some sort of like marshmallow, like cotton candy hash thing. It's just solid enough to where you could like put it in a wrapper and toss it, and it won't just come to pieces. And when you open it up, like it has like the Cadbury cream egg center inside a reptile egg. It's kind of disgusting, honestly, but it's like candy corn and circus peanuts. People still eat them because it's that time of year.
Yeah, there's that certain point when the magic of Cadbury cream eggs, when you've grown up to enough of an adult to realize that they taste really, really gross.
Imagine that inside a cotton candy marshmallow shell.
Yeah, that sounds pretty gross. I love it. That's amazing. Good. So we will, I think, let's take our mid. We've reached the staple of this issue. When we come back, the parade will be ongoing, and you guys will unleash upon the future Legion all of the things that you've stored up, and we'll see how that goes. So we will take us 28 after right now. Let's go ahead and take a 7-minute break. So we'll meet at 35 after. So 7 minutes. See you guys in a few. Is that what the candy you guys were rattling off was all from Gravity Falls? I remember that episode. I just didn't remember any of it.
No, I think we just came up with all of the like. I could see that. Oh, that's all of the that's everything from that shelf of that terrible Summerween store.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Okay, good. Because I would have felt more bad if I hadn't even picked up, but I didn't pick up on it, so I should probably still feel somewhat bad. All right. So you guys did a little bit of team bonding there. So I will say that everybody gets back 4 spark. Everybody participated in that previous scene. You may need it. So we pick up like people with their snake hats all running around during the parade. Of course, Alistair's has this float with giant furniture, all from Alistair's. And a Alistair look-alike is there throwing out gummy worms. And it's really so
throw a Tootsie droll right
Tootsie,
in their
Tootsie.
head.
Cool. So you guys have kind of set this up pretty well. Sia.com will get the feed of both of the incidents from earlier today, right? The feed from the Cypress incident, and then from the, I wrote it down, High Street appliance repair.
Yep. And also still the footage of styrofoam getting mangled.
Right.
Just in case they forgot about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was taken down by a DMCA notice of all things, because there's a claim that there was some copyright on certain aspects of Stow It, so they took it down the last few times you repost it, and people are looking at their phones and talking back and forth, and we see Yes Man's flying overhead, and then Cold Heart is on one of the floats. Like the Future Legion has their own float, right? And they're throwing out the best candy, whereas Alistair's candy's like a little on the cheap side. The gummy tastes a little soapy. The Tootsie Rolls are like they've been around for a while. They're a little melted, you know, like you try to pull the paper off and it rips the paper. And yeah, they're throwing out hard candy as hard as they can. No, but yeah, Yes Man and flies overhead, and Cold Heart is up on the Future Legion float, where they have like on the float are a bunch of disabled kids and older people. It's all like, look how they surround themselves with underprivileged people, like they're lifting them up kind of deal. It's totally a Future Legion deal. And as he flies overhead, Deirdre, aka Static, I'm curious, where is Yes Man's Scoville snake tattoo?
Well, let's see here. I'm thinking that it is actually on the back of his left buttock. Yeah.
Back. Okay, so we don't see it. We just know that that's where it is.
And I think that, you know, as the parade is going by, I'm going to yell up at him and go, "Are you gonna Instagram Pinstagram your tattoo, Yes Man?"
And
show some spirit.
He knows it's you, and he like hover above for a little bit on his jetpack, and he looks down, and he points at you like, "Hey, Deirdre, I'd love to, but just got to keep this PG. Maybe later for you though, private showing."
All right, and then I catch that cold. What's her name? It's Cold Heart.
Cold Heart.
I catch her eyes and go, "What?" About him, you know, essentially like I'm reacting to him like that, and then I give her a wink, and I I go on my business.
Are you trying to? Are you just playing around? Were you trying to plant a seed, and make her a little jealous?
No, it was like I was trying to like indicate that Yes Man is like gross as far as I'm concerned. Like, does that make any sense?
Sure.
And then wink at her like she's the cutie, and then go on if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Sorry, I misspoke so poorly. I was
no.
rushed into it.
I think I understand less than most people, so I always have to ask questions.
I was talking too fast, out of control.
All right. So you guys flip the switch. Everything's going online. I see a link from Luis that I'm going to click on. Sorry, that's great. Throwing pennies at people. That's cute. And everyone's checking their phones and talking about what's going on. And then all of a sudden, they're like throwing candy back at the Future Legion float. They're upset. And it's starting to get a little hectic. And Coldheart has to like freeze around the float because she's claiming that a couple of kids are in danger. And then the float turns off of the normal route. It starts going down a side street to get away from what's going on. What are you guys? Let's check in with Riot Act. What's going on with you?
So I'm assuming that they're all reacting to the images.
Footage.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I kind of imagine I'm kind of up on a roof or whatever, kind of watching things from above, making sure getting good signal out as well. But
are you dressed as Riot Act?
Yeah, sure. I'm kind of I'm out of sight, so I'm not going to be like, standing where it's visible.
You're standing like right on the edge of the building, like over top of people. You just have.
No, I mean, so kind of like maybe sitting there leaning next to, or kind of ducked behind like a little brick chimney or something off of one of the buildings, but keeping an eye on things.
Oh, come on, hang off a gargoyle. It's tradition.
Does Scoville have gargoyles?
No, I don't think Scoville has gargoyles.
We have snake heads just for this.
Yes, you do. You have snake heads. Yes. That's great. Cool. So, I'm curious where Lynx is, because if you're out on the street, there are cats.
Yeah, and cats like a mess. Like when people are throwing things, there's a very good chance that something's gonna fall to the ground and they're gonna have a meal. So I think she's in like casual hero attire. Like since her hero clothes aren't that conspicuous, she has like a bag where she stored her claws and her hood is down, but she's basically dressed as the hero. She has like a scarf or something to throw it off, and she's following along the parade, like having a lollipop, and she's trying out her new power. Like she keeps turning on new points of focus for cats, and she sees like they coming out of the woodwork to focus on this like piece of candy that's on the floor, and then she moves it to something across the street. So there's like cats coming. Every time a cat steps into her range, it just gathers into this mass of cats that's kind of orbiting around the parade.
As you are experiencing all of this is going on, you see through several cats' eyes that Garrison was not on the parade float because like he could only hold so much weight. He is charging towards the High Street Appliance Repair Shop. He looks pissed.
And the cameras are rolling.
Yep. What do you do?
Is it me? I see him going there.
Yeah, through a pair of cat's eyes, you see that happening. What do you do?
Oh boy, this is not going to be good. Yeah, I text everyone, and then I make him a focus point for the cats. Like, these cats are going to follow this guy.
Okay.
But I trigger like the impulse in the cat's brain, like the hunting impulse, where they have to follow him and not be seen. So there's going to be like a panel where there's like 200 cats all behind the building, peeking at him from behind the wall.
That is
That's
wicked. So the cat's just like,
Yeah, and then
sweet.
I text everyone and let them know that something's probably going down, and I move towards the shop.
Cool. So when you guys get that text, so check in wildcard, you get this text, something's going on at Jake's shop. What do? Where are you at this point?
I think Wildcard was wandering around some of the random junk booths that show up along the parade route. Like some of them are like little like street food vendors, and some of them are just selling random bits of like snake related ephemera. And he always like buys up a few like ridiculous snake themed souvenirs for use later. So he's got one of his big loose jackets on, and like he's filling up his external pockets with like random bits of candy and other stuff. And he gets the text alert, and he starts heading over to the shop.
Cool. And then Static, you had that bit of back and forth with Cold Heart and Yes Man. Then you get the text. So it seems like you're on a sidewalk, perhaps. What do you do?
Oh, I was just out putting the cafe tables outside of the restaurant. So, essentially I'll put those back out and I'm like, okay. And I'm going to go to make sure that no trouble goes down in the shop, if that makes any sense.
So when you say the shop,
they say the restaurant.
Cypress. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Because
essentially I would have.
Sticking to Cypress.
Yes. I because I can do the business with my tattoo buddy, like over phone. So I'd send him the spec and essentially tell him I can probably send some tattoos his way if he can come up with something for me. And pretty much I was kind of outside waiting for, the whole who else to come up on the big monitors. But as soon as I hear about what's his name heading for the junk shop, I'm going to go make sure the restaurant's okay.
Cool. And you come in the restaurant, all of the footage you guys have up on the monitors. People are not only seeing stuff on their phones, now they're seeing it, around them at all TVs and the like. So Future Legion continuing to be harassed. We cut to Wildcard and Lynx arriving at Jake's shop. Jake, when you got that text, did you stay where you are to keep the footage going, or are you going to head back to your shop?
I kind of head back to the shop because I think the footage will continue going as it is.
Okay.
And kind of hit maybe on a phone app hit live on the cameras I have set up in the shop, so that what happens there will also be broadcast real time.
Okay.
And head that way.
All right. So I'll say that Lynx gets there just slightly ahead of Wildcard, and then Riot Act, you can come flying in. So you guys effectively are seeing this at nearly the same time. Garrison has charged through the front window of the shop, and he appears to be in the process of trying to bring the house down because he is incredibly pissed. This is a wrecking crew type of action here, and you see that he is trying to find points of like load-bearing walls, and he's just started this, but you can see what's about to play out here. What do you guys do? You can get the footage, and that's all well and good, but I don't know how much insurance Jake has, and this isn't an act of God, so it's possible that you may lose your livelihood here, and since you didn't sign anything to be where the lien would be taken care of by Alistair, Garrison's little fit here could cost you quite a bit.
Yeah, I have an idea. So, do the cameras catch like only the inside of the shop, or like the front yard as well?
I had one out front, one or two out front as well.
And do they have microphones on them? They do, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is gonna be good. Yeah, Lynx strides out of an alley, and like there's this mass of cats following her, and she just like makes the heroic hands on waist hero pose, and she points at this Garrison, right? Who's destroying the shop? Yeah, she points at Garrison. She says, "The days of the future Legion terrorizing the good business owners of the city are over. Garrison, surrender immediately. I unleash the fury of my cat army upon you." She's playing it up. She's doing the television hero.
This is great. I mean, he's not going to surrender to that. I don't even want to put it to a roll because I just don't see Garrison giving up to that. Okay, good. Just make sure we're on the same page there. But you're playing it up for the camera, though, right? You're just kind of playing for public sympathy. I think that's something a normal, regular person could do. So if you're trying to gain as much, oh, by the way, that's right, it's experience. I read everybody's experiences as your spark, and I saw 2 at 0, and I'm like, what? Oh. But I misread. I think that right now you guys have laid a lot of groundwork that these guys are, Future Legion is not on the level. So I'm going to say this is pretty typical because you're being a little cheesy, but yeah.
And I'm thinking something else as well. I'm going to send cats one by one just to annoy him. So he'll try to like swat at them. So he'll be caught on camera trying to assault cats on the internet.
Just be advised, this is a 7.5 foot tall behemoth of a man. If he strikes a cat, we won't see it on panel. But you do the math.
Oh, well, we won't see it on panel. It's just going to be a very impactful moment of shadow work.
Okay.
I'm putting a veil on him smacking those cats.
Yeah, Garrison's. This is the moment when Garrison goes from mostly bad guy posing as good guy to probably full on supervillain.
Yeah, we can leverage this guy attacking cats against the whole team, I hope. But I'm hoping he won't actually hit them. I'm very connected to the cats at this point.
Literally, in fact.
Yeah. So I have to roll for that, right? So
yes. Rolling to see if you gain public sympathy and they all buy into this and are watching avidly more than just the other. Because you know how things are. People cycle through a meme and it'll be gone in a day or so. But this could leave an indelible mark upon the memory of Scoville Terrace, the Ville, and also College Hill Fairgrounds, all of Grand Center as well. All of those neighborhoods.
I just realized I'm a knockoff Squirrel Girl. This is what I've become. That discount is sabotage for my role.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
I mean, you're sabotaging. It's a stretch, but I'm good with it. Mostly to encourage you guys to keep using the team role. Yes.
Okay, so that's 1. That's 2. That's head or jaw, or I don't know.
I think you jaw. You're trying to convince people to follow you and being charismatic here, even if it's in a cheesy way.
Okay, so that's 4 and 2 more for cats. That's 6. And I'll put 3 spark on it. I don't care.
Wow.
That's 9 dice. If anybody wants a spot at the cat party, now's your moment. I'm gonna roll.
I'm far away.
See, I'll throw in a spark for this. I want to see this work. This sounds amazing.
Tension is in effect, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I think it has to be, but your difficulty is pretty low.
Okay, I'm just overkilling this because I really want this to be a glorious action. Okay, here goes. Oh my god.
What? So lucky for you, this was a typical action, which means you only lose 2 spark. But I think you still succeed. All you did was successes and 1s. Wow, 4 1s. Thank goodness for that roll, that rule about you only losing so much spark, right? Still a lot of evens. So tell me, what about this does Lynx find stressful? Like, how does this damage her? Does it damage her reputation? Are there a lot of people who are like laughing about her in the comments, cat girl lol kind of stuff, or do you imagine something else happens that explains why you lose a couple spark?
I'm thinking two things happen. One is what you said. She's camping it up. She had this reputation as a badass cat burglar night crew kind of thing, and now she's making emotional speeches and attacking with cats. It's like she became the guy who does memes on Helen. Helen's gonna call her to bring a cat on the show. It's gonna hurt her cred. It's like her bad girl image is gonna fade away. But the worst part is that she has to keep a lot of control to get these cats to not just go all at him at once, and to like, I'm not gonna say control because nobody can control a cat. She's just giving them suggestions and suggest to them the best way to move around this guy without getting hurt. Because every time he almost hits them, it's like she's there herself. So it's a lot of mental strain.
Cool. So, yeah, this looks terrible. Garrison has lost his all sense of calm. He is trying to destroy the shop, and all these cats start happening. He starts cursing at the cats, throwing things at the cats, but missing terribly because just so strong. He doesn't have very good aim, and he's been a little distracted. But at some point, you realize he's probably going to. He's wholly embarrassed. You have tens of thousands of followers. A lot of them are in the local geographic area, all watching this crazy display. But you realize that he's probably going to get so frustrated he continues to try to destroy this shop and then run away. So, wild card or riot act.
So I was thinking, as always prepares riot act is, as he's dealing with the cats, I'm going to tag him with a water balloon filled with pink paint. Just to see if he can get mad and maybe come back out of the shop. Kind of type of thing.
Okay.
And of course, just
so
basically humiliate him into.
He's kind of humiliated out. Like, I don't want to tell you what to do, but he's as humiliated as he possibly could be. And right now, I don't know if you've ever seen a person who's been humiliated to the point where they think there's no way out. But once they've committed to a stupid act, they often will continue through with that. I'm not telling you what to do, but someone's going to need to physically stop him from destroying your shop. Or you lose your shop and hope that you can get some insurance claim and get it back.
Well, okay then. Let's rewind back, and since I'm kind of a fighter as well, maybe I'll kind of charge in, pop out a couple of tonfas, and with some electric tips, and see if I can at least get into some combat.
Here we go. That's what I want to test out.
1 for roll, 3 for super, I'm guessing. 3 for hands. That's 7.
Yeah, that sounds
and
awesome.
Tools? Or
no, you can't do hands. It's either one or the other.
Okay. Same number, so yeah, I'll go.
I'll give you 1 for cats.
Okay. 1 for cats. So that brings it to 8.
Are you using your gadgetry power?
Oh yeah. Tonfas.
Okay. So don't forget that.
Weapons. Okay, so that would bring it up to 10, would it not?
Yeah, tension is definitely in effect, and this will be an incredible fight.
Okay. Oh, daggone it. I just lost my roll for the party.
Oh, I'll link you. No problem.
Or did I? No, I didn't. The tab's messed up on the that is 5 pals and 2 oofs.
All right. So yeah, you needed 4. You got 5, and you run in with these electrified tonfas, and he turns and says, "Finally, a fight." And there are cats that get underneath his feet at one point. He kind of trips and goes down to a knee. How is it that you deliver a couple of wicked blows to him? We'll go a couple rounds for here, because I think this needs a few panels, right? Garrison going down, which is what this page is all about. I think that needs a few panels. So when he falls down to a knee, what's the first thing that we see Riot Act do?
So I figure he swings in with a tonfa, and while Garrison reaches up trying to block one, the other one comes in and kind of jabs him in the ribs with a shock, and then do you want more, or just go, or you want to save that for another roll?
Oh yeah, he jabs him in the side. Then Garrison backhands you, and that's where you lose a couple spark. Sends you flying.
Yeah. So that where it leaves off there.
Armor. Yeah. So then you come back, you circle back around, and what is the KO blow? What is the thing that we see at the end of this titanic fight between the two of you guys, where you take Garrison down?
So I basically, after a few little exchanges, blocking and stuff, swinging with the tonfas, I managed to bring a couple up to the sides of his head and get the shockers at both sides of his face. And
Nice. You kind of the buzzers type, the shockers to the side of his head, and his hair stands up a little bit, and then he falls to the ground, and then one cat comes over and sprays on him, because that cat was pretty pissed. You guys have it all on screen. There are a bunch of people celebrating comments of the victory over Garrison, the cat killer. It's all over for Garrison at this point. For all of their neglect, the Scoville Terrace police still do need to show up, because someone did call the cops in all of this mess, and then the Merit, which is the kind of government division that is oriented around metahumans, will be showing up as well to cart Garrison off. The First Legion is going to be terribly embarrassed at this. They're already crafting statements to disavow themselves of any actions that Garrison took. But then there's footage of Copper Topper that comes out as well. And so we swing back around. Did I not say Future Legion? Did I say something wrong? Okay, I thought maybe I accidentally called him Future League or something, because we've all accidentally called them different names a few times. Good. So we come back to Cyprus. As all of this is going down, you're hearing people with their phones, TV monitors up, and it's showing all of this crazy cat attack and Garrison, and up on New Gauntlet City, QNGC radio reports going off about this. What are you doing, Lynx? Sorry. Were you doing, Static? As you were trying to keep an eye on Cyprus right now.
Mm-hmm. I'm keeping an eye on it, and essentially watching we got the TV on, so that helps to see if the stuff is still going on, like that people are paying attention. And I'm mostly keeping an eye out for any Future Legion people coming around to cause trouble. Since it is my poor boss that is being
cool. So all this stuff's going on, and one of your coworkers, she's like the middle daughter.
Mm-hmm.
What's a cool Lebanese first name?
Oh,
sorry, I need to Google this. I should.
Elia.
Elia.
All
right, so Elia, and now I'm going to Google for another name. All right, and so Elia comes over to you, and she says, just a second. She says, "Hey, my shift's almost up, but I haven't seen Halifa. Halifa being the eldest sister. Have you seen Halifa?
I haven't seen Halifa. But you know what? I'll go look for Halifa.
Oh, okay. I'll keep working.
Okay.
It's really busy, you know.
Yeah, she kind of goes and stops and goes, it's a really good day to get some tips. So enjoy it. Okay. And essentially, I'm going to go find Halifa. I have her number. So I'm going to dial it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to,
go to voicemail.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing is, I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the signal through the tower and up and down and essentially go there.
That is amazing. And I also think
Wi-Fi's and stuff, that there's enough for me to, just keep rerouting from electrical thing to find it. So
I think that is going to be an incredible feat.
Okay.
Tension is effect because you could get lost or dissipated or hurt.
I know, and it would all super suck. So, but that is only appropriate. Okay. I'm going to spend, let's see here. I'm thinking this is definitely super. And this is probably tools at this point, wouldn't you say? You prefer tools, or I can still do speed, I can do heart.
Well, it's movement to me, it feels like. Okay. Right? You're going to move along the lines. So
it's all threes, it's all the same.
But I still feel like movements what is more than anything else.
Okay. So I've got that. Let's see, distraction containment. Not sure if this is the best fit for that though.
No.
So that gives me 6 to start with, and I'll spend 2.
Wait. You're being super. You're using feet. You're also using one of your powers, which is the ability to move through wires. So that's 2 more. That should be 8 to start with.
Okay.
Yeah, because you get two dice for using a power.
Oh, well, I got to do that more often then. I keep forgetting that. Okay, so that's 8, and then I'm going to add 2 to it, so 10. So I could really, really do nothing.
All right, you need 4 evens.
Okay, let's see if I can do this. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 pows, 2 oofs.
6 pows. All right. So you disappear and zip through the lines, and we see several panels of you moving through, getting bounced around, going up to a satellite, all kinds of crazy movements, and then pop out in the it's like a 4-bedroom apartment that the Lebanese family all shares. In the living room, and you see Halifa. She's dressed for work, and the front door to their apartment has been mashed in, and she's got a taser, and she's fired it and is trying to electrify Copper Topper, and he is laughing at her and is about to pull the little prongs that are attached into his green jumpsuit type deal and approach her when you zip in, and he looks at you. Guess we upgraded.
Yeah. Let's do this.
All right. Yeah, got to tell you that I'm made of copper. I'm very conductive, little lady.
And she sort of stops and goes, it's true. Conductive.
And Halifa's like, can you guys take this outside?
Oh, that's a great idea. Let's take it outside. I mean, unless you're afraid.
Oh, well, I think you need to convince him to go outside. Sorry, we had somebody who we had accidental thing, but I think it's fixed now. So good. So we trying to convince him. I don't think tension's in effect. It's just, is he going to allow you to distract him and go outside, which is a terrible, terrible idea. So I think you're going to need remarkable convincing for him to take this outside.
I have 3 heart. And this is normal, I suppose, right? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
But it is my team roll, which is distraction and containment.
All right. So you start with 6 dice.
All right. And
you need 3 successes. Tension is not in effect, but a failure means that he's just going to punch you right now.
Okay. And I'll spend a spark.
Okay.
So that gives me 6, 7.
Yep. I'm going to clear the dice.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to say 7. Okay, here goes. I got 3. 4.
4. All right. Luckily, I had said that tension was not in effect. With 4 successes, Copper Topper will step outside with you. He says, "You drug my name through the mud."
No. Your actions drug you through the mud.
Nice. So
She goes, you can't play the blame game now. This is on you. You're not even getting out of this.
He reaches and he grabs you and he throws you out of and then he chases after you, crashes through a window. The 2 of you land on the street nearly at the same time, and he is just going to try to beat the living tar out of you and then go back to what he originally planned, which was, asking her out for a date or something but she's running. So I think you got that.
Yeah, that's what you knock a door down for, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, how's it going? Would you like a
Okay. So my intent is to get him back onto, one of those grates that they have on the sidewalk.
Okay.
And then what I would like to do is actually weld him to that.
Oh God, that's amazing.
Sorry.
Oh, that's really good.
That is, it's Crazy Tunes, but it's like he's made of copper, and if I don't get the chance to weld him, I'm never going to get a welding chance in this game.
All right. You need... I think defeating him, much like Garrison, is an incredible feat. And tension is in effect. I wish you the best of luck.
All right. Okay, so I am going to go with, let's see here, I'm going to put 3 spark in, and then, oh, but I didn't spend spark last time, so I put some spark in. So I'll put 3 spark in, and this is super, and it's tools. I don't know. What would you call that? Or just plain out and out power?
I think it's hands.
Hands?
Sorry to say. I know that's not your best thing.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, okay. If it's fisticuffs, it's fisticuffs. So I'm putting 3 in, and that's what I got. See here. Okay, so that's 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I'm going to roll 7.
All right, you clearing or?
I'll clear. As soon as I find the clear. This is always the hard part for me.
It's right by the submit button.
Oh, geez, of course.
Did you want to use the 1 spark I had thrown in?
What? You threw a spark in?
Yeah, I put it in the little text chat.
Oh, That's awesome. I didn't see that.
Wild card will contribute to this. He could have given you a copper topper voodoo doll.
Well, it's
Love it.
all those snakes and the sympathy with he bought a bunch of snakes and my snake tattoo working together. So here goes. I got 8. I see 2 1s. I got 4. I got 4 successes and 2 1s.
I said that it would be an incredible fight, and you have gotten an incredible success with 4 evens. You take some damage, so you start to weld him. What is it that he does that, or what is it about this fight that drains you of those 2 spark?
I think that it is literally that I have to make contact. So that's the thing is that I have to run in on him and sort of, grab a hold, and he's trying to push me away and push me down. And I'm just a kid. I mean, I'm just a girl. And so he's smacking me around. The crowd doesn't like it, but they don't realize I'm welding him to the street grate. So.
Yeah, it's not until you're able to step away and he can't get back up because like his arm and part of his side is welded to the street grate, and you've basically, he's not super strong, right? He's just really good at redirecting energy and incredibly hard to hurt. But now he is effectively stuck and therefore defeated. And as you stand back from this, you see you've got a crowd has gathered around near the apartment complex that's not far from Cyprus. So there are people that were maybe watching at the parade and have come to watch a bit of this. What do you do?
I sort of step back from and I look up at the crowd and I go, who else? Have any of the rest of you had any run-ins with these people? You need to report them.
Cool.
We can't rescue you. You have to help yourselves.
Ooh, that is awesome. I think what you're doing right now is a kind of vigilantism, right? Mm-hmm. So let's have you do that. Let's have you be super and roll with heart. And all you is tension, no tension in the roll. For every success you get some spark back.
Okay. Oh well. So that's just 6, right? Or yep, 6.
Super and heart is 6, yes.
Okay, let's do this thing. Clear. Okay. 6. And that looks like a decent roll. 1, 2,
nice.
3, 4.
4 evens, you get 4 spark back, and people are inspired by your rousing call for the future Legion to be taken down.
Which puts me back at the 5, which I was where I was. Okay, so there we go. And thank you for that last die wild card. That was a lifesaver.
I love all of Luis's, like he's creating this entire Gonzo World hero pantheon team. It's great. I want to copy all of this because it'll be lost. Like it's very ephemeral, the chat on a Google Hangout. So we need to copy this, drop it into a WordPad or something to keep it for forever. I've designed a new game of the Gonzo World heroes. All right, so you have taken down Copper Topper at this point. We show a couple of panels of the Future Legion. They have like a headquarters that's located right adjacent to the Alistair headquarters, and people are throwing rocks through the windows and tomatoes, and the Future Legion, like big lights that are on, broken through, and they're shutting the place down. So I'm curious what's going on with Wildcard. He's been able to help a lot of people out, but he has been told to get that cat's eye, or his former mentor is gonna be pretty pissed. So what are you doing, Wildcard? It's kind of late afternoon.
I think this point, Wildcard has you see him like sitting at a cafe table, like everybody else has like had their big, super awesome like takedown battles. Like Riot Act has, visibly and awesomely kicked the snot out of Garrison. Static has arc welded Copper Top to a sewer grate, which is the most appropriate place to arc weld that guy. So he's like, okay, everybody's gotten their big send off, and you see on the table, you see 2 cat's eye gems. And he's staring at them both. And he takes out a little like kaleidoscope telescope thing and is looking at both of them. Over one eye, over the other. And he's ready. And he takes both of them, and he takes out 2 more of those dishcloths with all the arcane protective symbols inscribed on them, and he wraps them both up in that little zip tie thing, just like he had done the original. And I think he is going to meet up with his master with one, and he is going to but he's going to try and talk to Lynx first. So he's going to see if he can find Lynx in the midst of all this hullabaloo before midnight.
Yeah, it's got to the point now where Future Legion and Alistair's have been vandalized, and there are people in the streets. A lot of folks are fed up, and so the cops are out, and it's getting to the point where there's worry that they may start lobbing tear gas into the crowds. This is the worst, some say the best, definitely the most memorable snake parade ever.
Look, we know the cops don't have the budget for tear gas. It's probably just stink bombs from a Halloween store at this point.
I mean, kind of, maybe. In every panel where we see these riots taking place, we see cats everywhere, all over. It's like all of New Gauntlet City's cats have converged on Scoville Terrace. It's somebody, I think, I will ask, since you posed the question, I'll ask it back to you. Riot Act, has someone released the Scoville snake?
Well, if it was on one of the parade floats or whatever going on with the festivities after the, for lack of a better word, rioting or, protesting against Future Legion went on, surely it's either that's cage has gotten knocked over or someone purposely released it. You never know. There might be a PETA-esque group or something that might want to, quote, release it as well. You never know. In the confusion, it's hard to tell.
It's a snake charmer, maybe somebody that we saw hanging out with wild cards some of the time in a previous issue. So.
Pets, people for the ethical treatment of snakes.
That's great. So, Wildcard, you've created these 2 cat's eyes amidst all the chaos that's going on. And Pets is getting me like okay, get back, focus. Okay, I think this little duplicitous thing that you're trying to do, you need a roll to see how successful it is.
Okay. I think what he still has one more step to do in it to complete the magic.
What's the final step?
He meets up with Lynx, and he asks her to place the cat's eye on the table.
So wait, there are 3 now? Ah.
Only one of them is the original cat's eye right now. But if the magic works, there will be 3 that are at least reasonable facsimiles of the cat's eye until you make a long-term investigation of them.
Okay.
So let's see how well this actually
Trying to do a
works.
3 cat's eye Monty kind of deal here.
Basically, and if basically the trick he's going to try and pull will be, oh well, he'll forgive him the first one, and obviously he's going to suspect that if he makes it too easy, and then he's going to make him work for the second one, and then he'll give him the second one, and then hopefully he'll let it go and walk away with that one.
I get it.
So I'm going to put together my little magic pool and see how this works out.
This will be an amazing feat. Fooling your own mentor with magic and chutzpah. It will take 5.
Yeah, so would this count as my face/weirdo/bullshit artist team role?
Yeah, kind of. It's exactly that. So yes.
Okay, so they'll get that. It's magic, so I'll get my be super mode. So that's 4.
Sorry, Chris. How are you on time? Because I think of 2 ways of this playing out. Either Alicia's going to be full on board and just let you do it, or she's going to want to have a dramatic scene where she doesn't want to let go of the one thing that might be a clue to where her parents.
I think we need to have that conversation. We got time. I really would like to see that conversation take place.
I think
I think you can probably convince her, but I really want to hear the objection because I think that's interesting.
Well, and Wildcard's perfectly okay if she wants to be there and confront Mortigern, but she's a grown up, she can make that decision. But he warns her again, this guy is seriously dangerous. What I'm trying to do is basically put him off the scent and get rid of him. And he doesn't really care about the stupid thing. He never did. That's why it was stuck in that hole. He used it once and then just hid it and never bothered with it again until he discovered that somebody had taken it. And then his little hoarding instinct activated. So I think if we give him this thing, it shuts him up. But if you think he's really done something to your family, I don't know that he did. But if you want to go for that straight up, yeah, I wouldn't put that past him. That might have been what he used the thing for, and then stopped using it for later. That could have been it. I don't know.
So, yeah, I think Alicia, they're sitting at a table somewhere, probably his apartment, I think. And she rolls her shoulders. It's been a big day, and she just goes we see the serious side of her. She's drawn in a darker shade, the shadows are over her face, and she's like, that's what gets to me. You have this big guy, and he can make whatever he wants, and he makes this stone, and we don't know what he used it for. We don't know for sure, but if there's any chance that he messed with my parents for some bullshitty wizard reasons, I want to know. I want to have him look me in the eye and tell me why my parents, who fought every day to improve this goddamn shitty world we live in, why they had to be part of his machinations, and why he cares, after all this time, in taking away the one thing that connects me to them, that makes any sense since they died. I just have to sit down and take it? I just have to give him whatever he wants because he's old and full of magic bullshit?
He is old and full of magic bullshit, but no, we don't have to give him what he wants. Like I said, my idea is to give him what he thinks he wants, and then he buggers off. But if we want to confront him about what he was using this for, if it had something to do with your family, we can go for it. I've got a fail safe that might work too if this doesn't.
I mean, I talk a big deal, Jamie, but I'm going to be honest with you. I know what my power is. I know that I can move a little better and control cats. It's not a big deal. If this guy wants to turn me into pudding, he can. If you tell me I shouldn't meet up with him, I'll respect your opinion. But I'm just dying to know. I mean, I feel like if I let go of this thing, I'll never know.
Maybe I can get him to open up a little, The other thing about wizards is they love to talk. They love to tell you all the cool shit that they think they've done. Wizards love that. The monologue, wizards invented it. Supervillains took that from them. Like that was just a total trademark infringement. That's a wizard thing. So once I get him talking, he may blather about it. I mean, you don't. I mean, it took me a significant amount of bullshitting just to get him to leave my apartment without lecturing me. So, and he tried to start lecturing me, and then he got tired of the smell, I think. So,
I think she actually laughs at that. She says, "Yeah, you need to get a fragrance spell going here." And she like slams her hands on her legs, and she's like, "All right, Jamie, we'll do it your way." And she puts the cat's eye on the table, and then she looks at the balcony, and there's a cat just perched there looking inside. I'm gonna say it's a black cat because reasons. And then she slides the balcony door open, and it strides in and just nuzzles up next to the dog in the corner. And then she says, "You get the wizard talking. I'll keep an eye through Mr. Mittens over here. This means a lot to me, okay? If you could do this for me, I'd really appreciate it."
I'll see how much I can get him to yammer. He does love to talk. First I'll try and roll the pool to do the magical hoodoo to make these other two fake cat's eyes look like real, really be cat's eyes to a casual inspection.
I'll give you a spark on that because you can use the power gauntlet as a focus or somehow to try to better your.
Oh, he's totally started using that for that because it builds his confidence too. Like because it gives him that childhood spark of wonder again.
But it's also a neat little way to give spark while not being there.
I'll give one too. I'll say that as Alicia is leaving the apartment, she looks back at you and she has this really like vulnerable look on her face that you never see, and you can tell how much this means to her. So it's gonna put some weight on what you do.
Oof. Okay. Let's see. All right. So let me go. That's 2 from y'all. Let's see. And I know we've if we've been able to make contact with Static again, I know she's probably heard about this idea.
Yes.
She want to be fading it, basically waiting in the wings as well in case something goes wonky.
Well, that's pretty much it. Is I'm watching from afar.
I left my cell phone on. Maybe not on purpose.
No, it wasn't on. I turned it on. There.
Nice.
You remembered to plug it into the charger. Wildcard hardly ever remembers to do that. He always ends up plugging it in like the cafe or something because he realizes it's almost out.
Yep. So 1 from me, no doubt.
Okay, so that's 3 base, and then 4 from super and team roll. 3 from tools. So that is 7, 10. That's 10. Is tension in effect on this?
It is.
Okay. Oof. I better keep my spark 3 to make sure and absorb any oofs I get. But I have 10 dice already, thanks to you guys. I really appreciate that.
Everyone wants you to pull a fast one on Mortigern. Dunwich, the wizard.
All right, no oofs.
What?
No oofs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pals.
All right. Mortigern shows up. Remember, he'd said at midnight, this has to happen. Stroke of midnight, he appears. And you offer up this first cat's eye, and he does bonding sparks while spending sparks to help somebody. Oh, you're talking about between the two of you guys before? Yes, definitely. 3 or 4. Like it was 4 before. When was the team thing? Yeah, it's 4. I think it's 4 for the last. Yeah, it's the last, and that was a pretty important thing for LSA. So, is it Alicia or LSA? I feel like I maybe been saying it wrong all this time.
It's been going all sorts of ways, but it's Alicia.
Elise. I think
It's
I've been saying
fine.
Alice all this time, thinking I was being fancy. So Elise, which is easier to remember than Alice, but there we go. All right. So he shows up just as you suspected. He takes the bauble, looks at it, and then crushes it in his hand and tosses down the dust, makes a crack about. It's not like you would even notice more dust in your crappy apartment. And then he cajoles you for the next one. What is the thing that you say that sells him that this other fake is the legitimate article? And you're on mute.
I think Wildcard gets this really serious look on his face, and Wildcard being serious is unusual in any respect. And he says, "Look, the stone is important to the kid. It, whatever it does, seems to attract cats. She likes cats. Her parents like cats. It means something to her. She thinks it was something that meant something to her parents. Just, what does it hurt you to let her keep that? I mean, what did you ever use it for? You made it once and I never saw you use it. And then all of a sudden it just, you just gotten rid of it. Why do we care so much about this thing?"
That particular cat's eye will increase her powers as it did her mother's, and it could cause a catastrophe.
Did you just... Did you, he points. Did you just make a joke?
Perhaps.
What kind of catastrophe are we talking about? I mean, we're getting vague into vague wizard language here. What do you mean? Are we summoning Cthulhu? Are we turning all humans into mice so that the cats can chase us forever? What?
Those are all interesting options, but no. See, her mother once had this for a brief period, and then she gave it onto me because it increased her power so much that every cat in Brazil was under her sway, and they came to worship at her feet as if she were Bast. In case you've forgotten what I've taught you, that's the Egyptian cat goddess.
I remember that. For God's sakes, she's a meme. I mean, a constant meme online all the time. Nobody forgets Bast. People that don't even know where Egypt is on a map know who Bast is. Everybody knows who Bast is.
Oh, I see. If only I'd taught you in memes, perhaps you would not have failed me and become this charlatan.
If you had taught me in memes, that, number one, that would have been really awesome. Number two, it wouldn't have been really you. So
I need to take this cat's eye away.
You really think it would do that?
I know it would. Have you not seen the cats about? Perhaps you were too busy with this little snake parade that was going on, all the trouble with the future Legion.
Well, there's not that.
Check the tags of some of the cats. See where they're from. See how far they've traveled.
I don't usually get that close to cats that just show up out of alleyways, so I'll take your word for it.
Observation. Yet again, you fail me. Jamie. I'm sorry, he calls you James. James, continue to disappoint me. You're a ghetto witch doctor and nothing more. Now you give me the cat's eye. I'll not bother you any further because you will not cause me any more trouble. And yes, I've moved everything out of the stoet, so don't bring that in my face again.
And I think at that point, he nods. And all right. And he pushes it over.
Takes a look at it and he glances at it like he's looking for some kind of flaw, but he's too upset. You played the game perfectly. Disappears.
I like that cloth back.
He just drops it.
Okay. And he walks back and he gets up and he reaches over to the countertop and brings the mug back over. It's still your mug, you know.
Damn well right it is. Grabs the mug and then he stalks off. And then poof, in a little poof of brimstone and sulfur, he disappears.
Why the hell does he do that? And he looks back over at the cat. He glances over at her tag.
Oh, yeah. Her tag is she is from Whopper Valley, which is the very southernmost tip of New Gauntlet City. It's like a few miles away of city, several miles away of city.
Mm-hmm. He nods thoughtfully, and then he looks at the cat. So, did you get all of that? This is to this is to Elise.
Yeah. And I think the cat just like looks up at you, puzzled, and then scratches at the door to get like taken outside.
Okay, but he opens the little door to the fire escape.
Yeah, and then like the cat just vanishes into the night, and you hear Elise knocking soon after, and she's like, "Wow, that was a lot."
Yeah. Honestly, I was surprised he opened up that much. He must have been carrying a lot of that around. But if he's telling the truth about that thing, it might be best to kind of put it aside for a while.
And she looks at the cat stone and she says, like, you can see that she's thinking about it, like how cool it would be to have an army of cats. We have like a thought balloon, or it's like she's sitting on top of a throne and surrounded by cats ruling the city. And then she hands you the stone and says, if this made my mother suffer anyway, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Just wrap it in a magic paper towel or whatever it is you have, and if we ever need it, I'll take it out.
I understand. And he takes two of them, like the two that were wrapped around the other two, the other two fake ones, and he wraps both of them around this one, keeping the dust from the fake one in on and rubbing it in on top of this one, so that it adds an extra layer of magical protection against scrying and magic. So the fake one's in there. So unless you really do super well on that scrying magic, you're going to detect that there's a fake one in there, because there's pieces of that fake one still wrapped up in it. So, and he takes it and he puts it into his plastic drawer of holding and closes it.
Nice. Well, based off of time, everybody take just a moment or two to think, because we have reached the point where we step away from mechanics and we get to see a bit of an epilogue. Right? get to the end of the comic. When you shut that door, that's the end question mark. There's a letters to the editor from people who are talking about all of the bad puns that happen in this issue. I don't know how these letters got in the same issue that it came out in, but that's the internet, guys. Then we flip the page, and each of you will get an entire page to give your epilogue. The epilogue doesn't have to finish your story. Doesn't have to adhere to happen like next week. It just can be what you need to kind of either put to bed the character or put them spinning off into another cool adventure that you fancy. Who'd like to go first with an epilogue?
I will.
Cool. What do we see for Deirdre, aka Static?
Well, I think you see that she's at Cypress and it's busy, and she's at the bulletin board, and she's posting up a need roommate, with the little tear tags. And someone reaches over her shoulder to tear one off, and turns around, and there's this sort of blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman with like really, really blue eyes. And she goes, I'm looking for a place. And I said, well, I need another roommate. And she goes, the problem is I just quit my job. And I said, well, I can probably let you coast for a month or two, but you're going to have to get something. And that's it. Just her getting a new roommate.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right, who'd like to go next?
I can do it. Nobody's stepping up for now. So I think the events of Reptile Awareness Day really consolidate Lynx's position as an official hero. But she decides she's not going to be a broke hero anymore. She just ditches the whole like keep it separate thing. She doesn't reveal her real persona to the public, but she uses like her meme. She has like a Patreon or a GoFundMe or something. I don't know specifics of it. People could just give her money all the time for posting cat videos on Instagram while in costume. And she live streams her like patrolling the city for like half an hour before she does the real work with the Scourge. And she keeps working on her powers and trying to be a better person to make her parents proud and find a way to figure out what they were dealing with, to look for more clues.
That's cool. I really like that. Nice way to put her to bed. Who would like to go next? Should it be Wild Card or Riot Act?
Wild Card can go if unless Riot Act's really got something he's ready to jump in with. Okay. I think you see Wild Card going to Professor Coffee, and and he comes in walking his new dog. They've centered on the name that the dog seems to be okay with, and he just calls him Lucas. And the dog, like when he talks to him, like the dog like nods and responds like in that fashion. And at this point, you have Wildcard sitting down at the little coffee table there in Professor Coffee. He's drinking his coffee. He like sets one coffee cup down on the ground for the dog, and the dog has like basically a little kid's cup size cup, so he can drink out of it, and is like lapping carefully to make sure he doesn't spill his coffee. And he looks down and says, "Okay, so we got a list of things we can do today, but what do you say we go to the park? I heard there's still a few of those cats around." And that's a wrap up for Wild Cards.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I'm just totally seeing the dog's reaction. Like, what do we see from Riot Act?
Well, I kind of imagine that, it's a few days later, the events has been basically spread and seen everybody. The Alistair's involvement, of course, was shown with his previous visit at the shop where he and Garrison had come in as he was seen walking out, so he was linked to it. The shareholders of his department stores and stuff are kind of doing damage control, so they've offered to fix damages, and maybe it's just some pain and suffering money, kind of to keep things a little quiet and build a little more good PR on themselves. And maybe also just with the footage of the team basically taking on was there footage of the other of Static taking on Copper Top or what?
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
that has to be like street footage
yeah.
you can string together.
So I just kind of imagine, and I don't want to step out over anybody's toes here or anything, but I thought maybe with the team's, I guess, reputation has kind of gotten a little bit of a boost, and they've stopped calling us the Scoville Scourge, and somebody had come up with like the Scoville Sentries or something, some random kid off the internet, because now we're not being seen as, quote, vigilantes now, because we've kind of stepped out in the limelight a little bit, or the spotlight, and was seen doing actual, unquestionable good. Plus, he also took in that cat that Alistair kicked.
Aw, sweet. I'm sure the wildcard pill accidentally calls himself part of the Scourge from time to time. Well, you guys, that brings our session to a close and brings our series to a close. Personally, that has been awesome. I just oh man, when you do strike through for the Excel thing, I just put in parentheses. I was trying to rename the team on the Team Din thing to the Scoville Sentries, but that didn't work. Anyway, this has been fun. I really appreciate you guys giving this your best full effort. These characters were amazing. I really like Scoville Terrace. It's such an interesting little place with all these quirky little neighborhood aspects. It's been super fun. So let's go ahead and finish up with we'll do our XP because that's part of the rules. Why not? And that won't take but just a moment here. Jump back to the rules, which I closed down that tab accidentally. Come on, catch up to me. Oh, this thing's taking forever to load. I apologize. All right, so let's, okay, wait for a moment. On page 19, it's still loading. Here we go. No, wait, I went past it. Of course I did. Did you clash with someone who threatened your neighborhood? Did you struggle with your normal day-to-day obligations?
Yeah, I had to keep the restaurant going, right?
Hey,
did you? Oh,
well, I'm pretty sure Riot Act had to seriously struggle with. He had that shop that was almost destroyed. He had to decide how to deal with that while also getting incriminating footage. I mean,
yeah. All right. Good. So I agree with you. Did you avoid open warfare that endangered regular citizens?
85%.
85%.
Took it out of the apartment.
There's that one. There's that one. All right. All right. Did you support another teammate when they needed you? Definitely a lot of that. Did you defeat a villain or have a conflict with your rival? Wow. And how? So that's a total of 5 XP for everybody as we finish things up. The last few minutes that we have, I'd love to do our normal feedback process of roses and thorns. Do think back over the full 4 sessions. You can reiterate something that it's just become more and more prevalent or important, or is definitely a critical area that I should address because I want to be aware of that. Anything that affected your fun, anything that seemed confusing, those are all aspects that I would appreciate to hear about. So we'll start off with thorns. Tim, would you like to go first for thorns?
Honestly, I can't think of. This is pretty much, you know, I would have liked to have probably gotten in some the vigilante justice part of the,
Yep.
you know, the refreshing, because that was one mechanic we didn't actually get to work in.
Yeah, I agree. I would have liked to have seen that on the page. Thank you. Luis.
Okay, so one thought. Oh, I was just thinking about it. I will say that the experience question, did you struggle with your obligations, is kind of weird because since we all get XP, it's like if one of us went to their day job, which was usually Deirdre, all of us got XP for it.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. And the charity and vigilante thing, I think that's a carryover from 1%er that doesn't really translate well to the hero setting because we're either doing our day jobs or we're doing the midsection of vigilante and charity work, which is saving people. I feel like it's something already to win the fiction. It doesn't have to be a separate move, you know?
It's a fair question. I definitely need to give that some more thought because we've played 4 sessions and never even sniffed it. Like it just wasn't a thing that came up. Just like I was starting to think about the team roles, was that even worthwhile? But you guys proved it works. I just got to remind it. You got to make sure it's out there and make sure it's very obvious. So the character sheet needs to definitely represent that well. Cool. Thank you, Luis. Anything else?
I want to say one more thing. Sorry. I don't know if it was luck, but it did feel like the roles were a little easier. I didn't pay any attention to the numbers. I was just like being, okay, we're doing well tonight. I don't know if you feel like the number of hits we got was fair.
It was crazy. I was setting the highest difficulties the entire 4-session run tonight, and you guys were just nailing it. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say. Like, there was one role, typical. Everything else was like incredible. We had an amazing difficulty. You guys still pulled it off. It could be the spark economy was maybe a little too loose. I don't know.
No,
There were times when you guys were sitting at 1 and 0 too.
So, yeah, I think it was just a night of good rolls. So, fortunate.
You can take it. All right. Thank you, Luis. Chris, what thorns did you have?
Well, I think I'll kind of echo what Tim had said. We did a ton of the team building, like spark refresh stuff, and that was all really fun. But really, we only got in like a little tiny bit of vigilante justice there at the end when we did that little montage of setting up the sort of quasi-legal, humiliating circumstances for a future Legion. And that was like as close. We didn't go out and tackle criminals or stop crimes or anything like that. We just sort of set up the exposure of that extortion ring, which is vigilante-ish, but not quite the brutal street level justice kind of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it's just our setup of what we were doing, or if it's not clear enough on the page. I kind of imagine it as just going on patrol, the whole thing of Batman goes out on patrol and there's a mugger and he drops down and he beats him up, and it's just a couple panels. It just shows you that Batman has his finger on the pulse of the city and he's doing this kind of work to prop up the poor justice system kind of thing. I don't know. Definitely something to think about, because it wasn't necessary in the story that we told in 4 sessions. So yeah,
I think it's just due to the lighter tone that we kind of had, because we weren't quite gritty like Daredevil type.
It's true.
I mean, because there was a little more humor and just some other stuff that kind of lightened things up a little bit at times.
Yeah, Wildcard really does blow the serious vibe really, really hard whenever he shows up.
Does. He's definitely fun though, and I felt like everybody was bought into the lighter side of vigilantism. Cool, thank you, Chris. Sherry, what thorns did you have?
Wow. I'm not thorning it up too much on this. I think the only thing that I would say is when I go to do the powers, I think that you should have something for when you're stretching your power out past its thing. Like for me to use my body mod thing as an elemental attack, there should be like a thing of like that there's a penalty for that, or maybe some discussion of how when you push things past the bounds of those powers.
Does
that make any sense?
Over and above setting a higher difficulty, you think there should be a something else?
I think there should be a thing of just that's a discussion that you go, and I'm going to set a higher difficulty. Like say it explicitly.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
It makes sense.
In that sense that I felt like I was cheating, and then when you did set a difficult thing for it, but it was like you should have said, well, you're doing this, so it's higher, just so that I went, yes.
Make it clear. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, so if that makes any sense.
It does.
Maybe an option to spend like an experience point or something during the game to allow you to kind of do that little extra. That way you don't kind of become over reliant on it, but for something that can just be some total off the wall cool thing.
Or spend a spark to push it.
Okay. There's definitely some options.
Yeah, I mean, not that you need to add more mechanics. It was just, I could say I personally felt a little cheaty when I did it. So there was that.
That's important to address.
I wanted to weld him to that. So
I think some DM talk off around making sure that that's clear is warranted there for sure.
Oh, and that would be about it. And on the vigilante thing, I think that vigilante thing would work great if you had a group that wasn't so groupy. We were very groupy, but a lot of players are off doing their own emo thing, and that vigilante and going and beating up a few bad guys would be exactly in genre and exactly what they would want. So that's my take on it, is that as a thing for getting spark as an individual, there was never time or need for that because we were working together the whole time.
It's true. That's a really good point. That's helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I expected Lynx being the orphan would super be vigilante all the time, but it turns out she was always hanging out with you guys. So cool stuff. All right. Well, Sherry, we stick with you. What roses would you like to hand out to your fellow players?
Oh man, you guys were lots of fun. Super fun. It ended up being a amusingly balanced group. When I first heard what our powers were, I was like, okay, this is the most crazy group of people ever. I mean, but we had our tank, and we had our crazy magic guy, and we had the action girl, and it was fun. And it felt like as part of a team, we all had a separate role that was super different from each other, but we could really help each other out. So I didn't expect it to fall together as well as that. And I always enjoy playing with you guys. Super good times. So I should say some other things, but just kind of basket in it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sherry. Chris, what roses would you like to hand out?
First, I still think Riot Act is the most badass street level superhero name ever. That's awesome. So definitely kudos to Tim for coming up with that. That was really when I first heard that name, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to top that. So I just went completely in another direction.
Yeah, I would super read a comic called Riot Act. And yeah,
I could see that. I could see that being in Marvel's Max label or DC's Vertigo. Just
Marvel Knights Riot Act.
I see that comic in my head right now. Okay, but I mean I just got a cool vibe off of that just immediately from the name. Lynx was tons of fun, like all the time. The cat thing, maybe towards the end, it got a little squirrel girly just because of all the huge amount of power she suddenly accumulated. But I like the sort of powers, and I like the way that Link built up with her backstory and with her family, and I thought that was a really cool tie-in at the end. with the cat's eye gem. I thought that sort of denouement to that story was really, really good. I enjoyed that. And I mean, I thought Sherry's Lebanese restaurant was a character in and of itself that I felt that that place more than anything kind of defined the whole game, because it just became such a part of everything. And I thought that was really awesome. That was really awesome sort of characterization of a place that I haven't seen done before, and I will be trying to do that like in every game in the future. So thank you for that.
Right on, right on. Luis, what roses would you like to hand out?
Oh, so many. It's just a big bouquet of roses. I like everything that Chris said. Like Riot Act and Static are super cool personalities, like in and out of costume. It's like in costume they're super badass, and then they're out of costume they're like a business owner who's actually preoccupied with maintaining his livelihood, and this really sweet waitress who's worried about keeping this family going. And then Wildcard is just so much fun. Like Jamie is just such an interesting character that, like, even though he says he doesn't care, he's always helping everyone, and I think that's a super cool way to play them. I thought this is a really cool team. And of course, you, Rich, as always, you were tying everyone together. It's like everybody's got skin in the game in some way. It was like, oh, the thing is about business owners being threatened, so Static and Riot Act have more reason to care about it. So you throw a magical cat's eye gem in the middle, so you can put everyone in the same basket. It's so cool. It was just a super fun game that always focused like on handling small time problems. It was never about fighting aliens in the sky. It was about like trying to upload a video, getting to get someone to like run to the street and do something embarrassing so we can get them on camera. It was always very street level heroes all the way through, and I thought it was super cool.
Cool. Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. Tim, what roses did you want to hand out?
Like I said, and I can go with the same thing that like Chris said, talking about the name. I mean, he was talking about mine, but you know, Wild Card. Whenever I saw that, and especially the font he used, I totally picture this kind of like probably late '90s, early 2000s Dresden Files ish type show. It's just about a wizard that, you know, basically solves crimes or whatever. Kind of, I mean, because that's just the image just clicked for that, you know, and holding up the little burning card. So I mean, I could picture like a little opening scene. He kind of flicks that at somebody and does something really cool to a bad guy or something. I don't know. And Static welding to copper top to a storm drain. I was totally expecting we was going to have to water balloon him or something, but that worked too. Of course, all the cat army links. That was, I'm a cat person at heart anyway, so I mean that just brought it well, you know. I mean, that just made it even more fun.
Cool.
And just the names you come up with on some of these other characters too, like Copper Top and all, you know. I mean, there's a lot of inspiration there.
Well, you guys came up with Yes Man. I just gleefully leaned in hard on that character. I'm really pleased with the characters you guys created. Thank you all for groaning at my catastrophe joke. I've been saving up for that for a while. I can't believe, like, I just knew it was not going to be available by the time that I got there, but it was there, and I took it. I've reached for the brass ring, my friends, and it was great. I mean, and I even paused. I'm like, I cannot smile. I can't. No, wait, no. But there it was. But that was good. It was a great game. I really enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much. And the Scoville Scourge forever.